Hello, everybody. Mark here at Gilbo Realty, doing another video here today. I'm going to talk about some stats in the villages. I just yanked all the homes that sold in November in the villages. There's about 141 of them. And I'm going to go through some stats and why you have to be very careful taking what someone says about percentages, like percentage to close, sales to current list price, and all that stuff. And what does all this stuff really mean when they start talking about all these figures? Okay. Like I said, yesterday's video, median price and average sales price means zero. It doesn't mean anything when it comes to your house. It's just a generalization of an area. Median is just a center point of all the homes that sold. And yes, they can be skewed quite a bit, especially the slower the homes are, the slower sales, the less sales, they can be skewed a lot more. Average sales tend to be okay, but again, they can still be very, very manipulated with the data. As sales slow, as prices come down, as inventory skyrockets, a lot of these things can change quite quickly over time. But I wanted to show you what I did. I yanked all these homes. You may or may not be able to see them on the screen, but I'm trying to zoom in as much as I can. But I yanked everything. So the addresses are over here on the left. I'm not going to show those because no big deal. Doesn't really matter what it is. There's a bunch. Okay, so I got down here and I think there's 142. So what I've done, I want you to look at three columns. One of the columns is the average days on market. Okay, the active days on market. And right now, currently, the active days on market is averaging about 67.2 days on the market. If your house is currently listed right, priced right, in a good area, but then again, it really comes down to price. Are you pricing your home correctly for your home to sell within that 67 days? As you can see, in some of these, I'll just highlight them: 313, 152, 149, 107, 128, 69. Many of these homes fall above that, 149, 127. And some of these I recognize that were on for more than once, more than a year. There's 219, 99. This does not include any homes that may have been listed with the villages, delisted it, or it expired and came over to the MLS, and vice versa. Okay, sometimes you'll see homes go back and forth between the VLS and the MLS, and you're like, geez, the house looks familiar. Yeah, it's the same dang house. It's been listed with the villages for 6 months, never sold. Now it's over here in the MLS, hoping that they can sell it at or near the same price. But so just keep an eye on that. If you see homes on the VLS and they go expired, which you can't really tell, that's a downfall of the VLS. They hide a lot of stuff from you. Whereas a buyer, you lose a lot of advantages by buying through the villages when it comes to existing homes. You never see price discounts. You never know how long it's been on the market. You don't really ever see what it's sold for unless you go to the county and you look it up on your own. You don't see that stuff, but you do see that on the MLS. You see it on our website. You see when a home has been discounted. You'll get an email every morning saying, hey, this home just came down 15 grand. Take a look. What do you think? Because that's what sellers are marking their home down for. Sellers are marking their home down so that their realtor can notify you that their home has been discounted. Come take a look. When the villages leaves that off their website, doesn't show you that this thing has been discounted, it actually is doing a disservice, in my opinion, to the seller. Because the seller's saying, look, mark my home down. Let's see if we get more action. You're not getting that from the VLS. You're getting it on the MLS, though. You mark your home down on the MLS, you're going to go all over the place saying, hey, this has been discounted. Take a look. That's what you're doing. Okay? But let's look at markdowns right here, the center column. I'm adding some of these columns myself. This is how I keep track of some of the data. Like I said, I really go into the data really good. I just go in different ways. So what I try to keep track of are their markdowns, and typically in the markdowns, people say, oh, they just overpriced it. No, the market's changed quite a bit in the last 8 to 12 months. It's been coming down quite a bit. And markdowns are a good way for you to find out how far the market has been falling and what things are selling at. Because remember, these are sold homes, okay? And if I take all these markdowns, and some of these have zero in here. If it's zero, it's sold at what they had it listed at. But if there's a blank here, it's because it was marked up like 20 grand or 10 grand. The agent's working in their commission, or they're buying furniture and some other stuff, which I'm going to delete that. Okay. I don't want them to skew these figures. And it wasn't that many. There's like 3 or 4 anyways. But if you come down, the average markdown in the village, the average is $34,200. That's quite a bit. Now, I threw the median in there for the hell of it. It doesn't mean anything. Like the average when it comes to markdown is a lot more useful. So the average markdown in the villages on these homes for November was $34K. That is why we're seeing an uptick in sales. We're not seeing it because of rates. We're on my mortgage rate, people, saying we're going to have, the Fed's going to lower rates. Mortgage is going to drop to 5%. We're all those so-called experts now. They're nowhere to be found. And as I've been saying for 6 months to a year, rates can't go down. They're not going to, at least at the moment. Maybe at some point in time when they get our debt in the United States straightened out, maybe they will. But right now, they're not going anywhere. They're going to stay put. And the Fed will just play up and down, games with them to seem relevant. But they really can't mark down mortgage rates. And the Fed really doesn't control mortgage rates anyways. They control certain short-term rates, not long-term rates. So if you look here, $34K. Now, you may not think that that's a lot, but some of these homes, like $46,900, $105 grand discount, $140,000 discount, 30 grand, 71,000, 49,900, 30, 32. Look at all these massive discounts going on. 48 grand, 84 days in the market only. 19, 24, 8, 18. You get down here to some of the bigger ones. Let me get over here. $465,000 off, $200K off, 100 grand off. You can see this is a $1 million home. It's sold at $244 a square foot. So this is the reason why I've been saying that prices have been going down, not only in the villages, but across the board. And let me show you how they hide some of that. And I don't know if they do it on purpose, hoping they don't. But, the way my mind works, this stuff I can figure out in like 3 seconds. I think you guys can too. Most of the people that do comment in our videos are pretty smart people. They've been in the villages for a while, or may live there, or at least been watching it for a while. They can kind of figure out that sometimes these numbers just don't make sense, what they're putting out there. But let me show you another column. And that is sales price to current list price, sales price to original list price. Now, the MLS pushes sales price to current list price, which is a fictitious number. It's a real number, but it's a number they should never be using. But it's a way for them to try to portray to the people out there buying homes that real estate is strong, it's staying where it's at, it's not dropping. Look, this home was listed, its current price is $255, it's sold for $250. Okay, well, forget about the fact that the home just started out at $270. Okay, that's where you need to begin. So what I did is I took a sales price to current list price and sales price to original list price, or OLP. We see quite a bit of a difference. If you look here, sales price to current on this one home. Okay, here's current 182, but it started at 205. So you go from 100% sales price to current list price. So it's sold at 100% of list price. This is what the MLS is telling you. It's sold over 100% of list price. But if I do my configuration, it's sold at 88% of list price. That is the figure they should be using. Let's look at another one. I'll zoom in here. So here's another one. This one here. Original list price, $265. Current list price, $208. It's $57,000 off. It sold at 208 because they finally got it down to where it needed to be. The sales price to original list price, which is 208 divided by 265, is 78.49%. Now, if I did it based on what the MLS wants you to know, wants to hide, this house sold at 90% of list price. But again, they are using the current list price. So these aren't very accurate. If I go down here, I could take a look. If I use their figure here, 99%, they say this home sold at 99% of list price. But in reality, it sold at 86.82%. That's a 14% off original list price. And if I look at the dollar discounts, 35 grand. Okay? These are what I look at. I don't care about any of the BS other channels publish or what they think they know. You have to look at this. You have to take the data that they're trying to convey to you, and you have to look a little bit deeper. And luckily, I have access to all this data. I can go to the MLS. I can pull everything that's been out there. I can pull everything that's sold, and I can figure this stuff out on my own with a few calculations, okay? And so as you go down here, 86, 85%, 89, 94%, 88%, they have 97%. So here's just one way for them to manipulate the real estate prices and you into thinking that the houses are selling for more than they truly are. Okay, so if I go down here, it says here the average is, they're saying the MLS, that the homes in the villages sell on average for 97% of list price. On average, okay? But they're not taking into any consideration the discounts and the markdowns. When I do my configurations, these are just averages. I come up with 93% or at least a 7% discount. But if I go through some of these figures, some of these are much more than that. Much more. Look at this house, $650. Okay? $124,000 discount. Started at $775, currently $650, sold at $650. 83% of list price, 83.88%. A 16% discount right there alone. Not all these have been overpriced. What is happening is the market is changing in real time faster than faster than you can keep up with it. Okay? So this is when I look at it on a daily basis. I just want you to see why I keep saying over and over again the prices are coming down. Because if I use their figures, it looks like they're not. It looks like everything's selling at 97% of list price, 3% off. But if you go down here to these markdowns, you can see some considerable discounts on not very expensive homes. You get 100 grand off a 359 home. They sold it at 260. Right? On the market, 310 days. Now, around that 310 day when they originally listed it last year, beginning of this year, maybe 359 would have been an okay price. Obviously, it wasn't because the market changed quite a bit in the last 8 months. But some of these homes started out probably in an okay price range. But what happened was inventory ramped up, demand started to fall. COVID was pretty much over, right? And now a lot of these people have been stuck where they're at and having to mark down. That's why you're seeing these big markdowns in this column. I mean, you're getting $50,000 discounts off a $300,000 house. 99 grand, 36, 50K, 22, 24, 23, 23, 50, 33, 5. These are not fictitious numbers. This is the reason why I keep telling everybody prices are coming down. They can hide the figures all they want. I mean, unfortunately for them, I'm good at math. And I can figure all this stuff out and see where they're making their mistake. So just keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on days on market. We already know inventory is going way up across the state. In Florida, the active homes are over 100,000 homes. Over 100,000. The number of new homes on the market across the country is at an 8-month supply. So if they stop building today, it would take 8 months to try to sell all of them. Okay. So this is just one example of what I'm talking about and why I hope that you take what I say with a little bit more interest, because this is what I'm doing in the back end. This is what I'm looking at personally. I want to know why this home sold at 72% of list price, original list price. I don't care what they had to mark it down to. I want to know what they started at. Because somebody, if the realtor's doing their job, should have gotten comps. And they should have came in near this list price. But what's happening is the market is changing so much, so fast. And if you're not watching it on a daily basis, you can get lost in some of these figures. Okay? But anyways, just want to tell you that. But I want to show you one more thing. If you haven't been to our website, this is it. Go to the villages, buy a home, go to Fast Home Search up here. Now, many of you reach out to me and say, Mark, I need a turnkey house. I'm not bringing my furniture. It costs too much. I'll spend more on transporting all my stuff to the villages than it will for me just to buy new stuff. And they're probably right. I've heard some stories from some potential buyers and buyers that we've sold houses to where it was going to cost them about $6,000 to move their furniture to the villages. They're like, I don't think it's worth $6,000. I can go to the Costco and buy a couch. And I can go around town, a lot of furniture in the villages, and buy my stuff. But if you go here, all the way to the bottom, go to turnkey houses. This is a new search I just entered, turnkey. And currently, this is probably about 98% accurate. And how I set it up was that if they had turnkey in any one of these homes listing description, it'll pop up. Okay, so right now, there's currently about 85 homes on the market in the villages, turnkey. You can go in here, take a look. You can change this to map if you just want a little bit better understanding as to where they're all going and where they're all listed. And again, this is a good way for you if you need that turnkey house. Maybe you're an investor, you don't want to waste your time trying to find furniture, throw some furniture in it, deck it out. Some of these have already been done. Some of these have already been rentals, maybe. And maybe second homes, furniture in two different places. They don't want to bring the stuff back. So this is a good way for you to go in here and just find a home with turnkey. Okay, but then again, go to our villages tab, buy a home, go to Fast Home Search, download our map. Great way for you to learn the map and the location of all these villages within the villages. Open houses are right here as well. If you're in the villages, man, just click on this tab. You'll get open houses every day. If they're in the MLS, there's 124 coming up, starting tomorrow. And you can stop by and take a look. And again, take a look at this tab, lifestyle visit. Please let us know when you're going to show up. Let us know ahead of time. We'll prepare for your arrival. And there's nothing, it makes our life easy if we can get everybody on board. Just let me know, send me an email, send me a quick text. Make sure that your name in the system that you log into our website on is accurate so I can find you, or just send me your email and I'll find you. And that way we're prepped, ready to go, show you houses when you show up and sit down with you for a minute and also allow you to have time to have fun. That's the whole goal. Okay. So everybody have an awesome evening and I will talk to you soon. Everybody have a great day. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.